Welcome back to Leafs Late Night. I know tomorrow night ended up being a week, but things happen. I guess I'll address that first. Mine and Beaner's jobs take us on the road sometimes, and sometimes we go on vacations and things, and sometimes things knock us out at night. And it's been a little hard to get our schedules on the same flow. And I'm sorry, but we're here now, and that's what matters. You know, it's the summer. Not much has happened since last week. Anyway, there's just a couple little more things to talk about, so it's just more fun. It is September though, which means we're ramping back up for preseason that starts in like 3 weeks. If you want to stay up to date on all that stuff, give us a follow on X/Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube at Inside the Rink if you want to catch the videos. Welcome. I am joined today by Darty Broder, Suthy, and National Biehn Graphic. Ready to talk about some stuff that's happened. We got some signings. We got a whole new league that appeared. We got like crazy stuff. So and some fun games. So without further ado, let's do it.
Hi, this is Mike Ross, public address announcer for your Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is the Leafs Late Night Podcast, your post-game destination. And now, your starting lineup: Roscoe, the Fanalist, Suthy, Biehn, and Darty Broder on the Leafs Late Night Podcast.
Alrighty, and for anybody watching, I am drinking Landshark, the Margaritaville beer, in honor of Jimmy Buffett, who we lost. Man, legend. I always wanted to go to Margaritaville. It looks like so much fun. When I was on my road trip, we saw one that was being built, opening soon, but something I've not yet experienced. Have you guys ever been?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen one.
I think it might only be in the States and maybe Niagara Falls. Like, it's one of those things. Like a rainforest cafe. There's not many of them left.
Yeah.
But alas, Jimmy Buffett, another legend. Also, we lost Steve Harwell from Smash Mouth. Man, it's a summer of losing musicians. Sad.
That was a bummer.
Yeah. Go and put All Star on repeat or watch Shrek and pay respects. So, some hockey stuff happened, but before we get into that, we have a question that's been looming. It's been from Steph and from Mikey D. How was everybody's summer? And that's more appropriate now that it is past Labor Day, and summer is officially over, even though I don't know about where y'all live, but it is 38 degrees every day for the last couple days. It is stupid, but it's not summer. So let's start with Suthy. How's your summer been?
The summer's been good. It's I've had an unusual amount of time to myself due to a couple of unions being on strike in the world I work. Yeah. So this is the first summer I think I've had in a long time where I've had more time off than I've been working. Got to spend a ton of time at the cottage, a whole bunch of weddings. All in all, I'd say 8 out of 10 summer.
Nice. Love to hear that. Darty, it's been a while. What about you, buddy? Is he there? He's there, but will he unmute? I can't tell. I can't see him. Darty, unmute yourself. Tell us how your summer was. You have 3 seconds.
Welcome back,
Justin. How was your summer?
So in Darty's defense, he is a dad now, so you instantly do dad things. You don't have to have been a dad for a long time. So he's probably still talking right now. Just forgot to unmute it.
He is out for a run right now. It's not like he's sitting at home and running to do dad things.
It's been a summer. It's been good. There's been a lot going on, work-wise, family-wise. The reason our show didn't happen last week, I was up in Iqaluit again. For those who don't know, that is the northernmost capital city of any of the territories of Canada, up in the Arctic Circle.
Literally National Biehn Graphic. I swear I'm going to finish that shirt and go to the place store.
And anybody that's watching, that's the hat that I'm wearing. It's from a local brewery up there, which is just wicked.
Nice.
Do they use iceberg water?
I honestly have no idea.
No,
I
there
didn't
was
get
one of
that.
those when I was in Newfoundland that had a very similar logo to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the math that since May 1st, I've had 22 nights in a hotel for work, so I've been literally
Holy.
everywhere.
And some of those hotels have had great Wi-Fi and allowed us to do shows, and some of them haven't. And that's kind of
It's a roll of the dice.
And there was no internet at the airport there, which is crazy.
Okay. Can I vent for a little bit here?
Of course.
So the whole trip, I went up there last October, and it was an eye-opening experience. But travel-wise, everything was fine. Flights were fine, no delays, nothing. This entire trip, the flight from Toronto to Ottawa was delayed to the point that I was the only one of like 11 people that made my connection. So then the flight from Ottawa to Iqaluit was delayed. On the way back, not only was the flight from Iqaluit to Ottawa delayed, and the other flight delayed, multiple gate changes, like just a nightmare. But they were doing some infrastructure work on water in the city of Iqaluit. And like, this is a capital city. It's not some small town. It is the biggest city in the territory.
I mean, it can be both.
Well, yes. They shut the water supply off to the entire city all day.
It's population.
So, like, when I left the hotel in the morning, the water was shut off. I got to the airport. There wasn't a single bathroom open anywhere in the airport. And we're there all day. Like, it was just, the whole day was just like surreal. It's just crazy.
It's always traveling that can just turn into a nightmare when you're at the whim of business. Just corporations control your every move for the day. It's so much fun.
And for those who don't know, like, flying in Canada is one of the best experiences you'll ever have. It's always such a great time and on a timely fashion.
I just saw come up on my Instagram feed. Apparently, there was somebody who refused to sit in a vomit-covered seat on Air Canada, and Air Canada kicked them off and threatened them with a no-fly list after they tried to cover it with coffee grinds and perfume or something. Like, oh,
they did say they were sorry though.
Oh, of course they did. They have to. They're Air Canada. My favorite one was, somebody from Air Canada was talking about what they're going to do to fix all the delays and cancellations. The camera guy pans up to the board of all the flights that shows them all delayed, while she's talking.
That guy's a hero.
Okay, last one. Darty, coming back to you because I see you now. How was your summer, buddy? Oh, by the way, the population of Iqaluit's 7,700 people, so it can be a capital and a small town. 7,700 people is I don't even.
That's a lot of people not have water at one time, though.
It is a lot of people do not have water, and there's also probably communities around. But yeah, Darty, unmute yourself and tell us how your summer was.
Yeah, how's it going, folks?
Buddy,
there he is.
I'm in dad mode, so I gotta milk as much free time as I can. So I'm on a walk with one of my buddies right now. I'm trying to burn off the 40 pounds that I put on, being a dad.
Attaboy.
So getting a walk in here on the podcast. My summer was pretty good, just exploring the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys of fatherhood, and doing a little vacationing, staycationing. I went to St. John, New Brunswick. That was a lot of fun. I think I don't know how you guys feel about Ontario, but Darty might be looking at moving out and heading out east. Out east looks not too bad. So,
right on,
it doesn't
buddy.
mean I won't rep the Leafs.
Hey, I mean, it's not like there's another team farther out there.
Full disclosure, my wife and I have had serious conversations about moving to Nova Scotia.
I mean, our house is still cheap out there too, because I know Newfoundland is insane how cheap they are.
It's still a hell of a lot cheaper than here.
Of course. I've noticed it's starting to come down, though, at least in the Ottawa area. I mean, stuff that was like $1 million is now down to, 800 or 750 or something, which is a little more reasonable. It's still not a $750,000 house by any means, but it's not $1 million house either. It's better than Toronto. So just to finish this off and get into some hockey, my summer's been cool. I took some time off work, which, as Suthy alluded to, might not have been the best idea. There's some strikes and stuff going on, so I don't know when I'm. Thought I knew when I was going back, but maybe we'll have some more episodes the next couple of days than expected. Otherwise, went on a road trip, which I think I talked about. Went down to New York City and to Boston. Sorry, Leaf fans. Boston's a really cool city. Went through Rhode Island and Vermont and stuff, New Hampshire, whatever else is down there. I know the order was off, but you know the story. Last Labor Day long weekend, we went to Plattsburgh, New York, where there's this. If you ever get down there, this is the thing. We realized how close going down to New York is from here. I've never lived so close to a border, I guess, and I didn't realize how close Ottawa is. But in the same amount of time it takes me to get home to Cobourg, I can go all the way to somewhere in New York for the weekend. So we did that. If you get down there, check out something called Ausable Chasm. It's like basically if the Grand Canyon was in a forest instead of the desert, and obviously not as massive as the Grand Canyon, but there's like tons of trails and stuff, and you can take raft rides through it, which we didn't get to do, obviously. But if we had more time and found it before we got there, maybe we'll do it next time. But yeah, some cool stuff.
Is that still part of the Appalachian Mountains up there, or is that too far north?
It's like Adirondacks.
Oh, okay.
I think. And a weird thing, we kept seeing ads on restaurant signs for something called the Michigan. Like, we have a Michigan. I was like, okay, what's a Michigan in the context of food? I've never heard of this before. Apparently, it's a kind of hot dog with a certain kind of sauce on it, and it's famous from Plattsburgh, New York, but it's called a Michigan. It was the most confusing fucking thing. Anyway, I picked up a bunch of Liquid Death, which you can't get up here in Canada. It's some really good sparkling water in a can, and now it's September. That's kind of it. So, hockey things. I guess we could start with the PWHL, because this is really cool. We have been hearing a lot over the summer about, this, I guess over the last month or so, this league's happening and, who's getting different teams. But now we've got some players signing contracts. So I've got here, it seems every team but Minneapolis, I think, has...
No, Minnesota's announced 3.
No, Minnesota does. So Ottawa, Toronto, Minnesota, Boston, and Montreal. Who's the other one? New York hasn't announced any players.
Yep, they've got Alex Carpenter and Abby Roque.
Oh, since when? It's not on Elite Prospects as a confirmed transfer.
I was going to ask
only have
if you
2?
were... Yeah, they've only announced 2 so far.
Okay, well, they're not on Elite Prospects, but I'm sure there's not a ton of people updating this yet.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't know, what they're doing is they're allowing each team to sign 3. They're calling them foundational players. And then they're going to have a draft on, I believe it's September 18th, to fill out the rest of the rosters. So, like, Boston has signed Hillary Knight, Megan Keller, and Aaron Frankel. Minnesota has signed Kendall Coyne-Schofield, Kelly Panic, and Lee Stecklin?
Stecklin? Yeah.
Yeah, some of these names I might be butchering, which I'm ashamed of myself. Obviously, Montreal has Marie-Philippe Poulin and her fiancée, Laura Stacey. And then Anne Renee Biehn as their goalie. New York, like we said, has Abby Roque and Alex Carpenter. Ottawa has signed Emily Clark, Brienne Jenner, and Emirates Mashmeyer. So those are 3 good starts for Ottawa. Maybe there will actually be a hockey team in Ottawa this year.
That plays downtown Ottawa, which is what I want to get to.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And last but not least, Toronto has signed Sarah Nurse, Renata Fast, and Blair Turnbull.
So, I mean, right off the bat, it's names that people recognize from, Olympics and World Cup hockey that have been highly popularized over the last couple of years. I think it's good for getting people excited about this. It's pretty accessible to the Northeast, where you've got the most fans that are going to get on board with this. I love that it's an original six. Like I like what they're doing. I know there's some negatives to how this all went down and how, you know, 6 teams is not enough for how many players are available, and there's a lot we can get into there. But on the positive side, I think there's a chance here for this to do well. I mean, knock on wood, but I like what they've done so far. Brian Burke is the head of their players union, which I think is a great move. Somebody that actually gives a shit about players and has time after time been on the right side of progress in hockey. So I think he's a great person to be fighting for their rights when these negotiations happen. We do not know how much these contracts are for yet. They have not voted on whether to make that public or not. So we'll see if that happens. But I think they should, just for the sake of competitive wages. I mean, if Toronto and New York are paying a lot more than like Minnesota or like Ottawa are getting away with or something, you'd want to know about that. But I'm sure internally it would be known. Anyway, what I wanted to say, the Ottawa's team, which doesn't have a name yet, none of the teams have names yet. I hope that comes out soon. But they're playing at the Lansdowne TD place, whatever it's called, where the Ottawa 67th play, downtown, which is an extremely accessible arena. And Suthy, I don't know about you, but we should go to some games.
Oh, we're going. I'm so excited.
So
it's
easy.
Right in my backyard. I think it's going to be super fun. Like the inaugural season, like you said, original six. It just has really good vibes all around about it right now. So I think what we need to do now is hold up our end and go support this.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome within the show that we've got people on either sides of Ontario. So, like, you know, we can have... I don't feel bad being a fan of the Ottawa team here. Like, I'm not going to immediately go to Toronto because I'm a Leaf fan. So this is something that I'm going to get behind from its start, and we can have some little internal competition on it. It'll be fun. Like, I mean, Biehn, are you looking towards obviously cheering for the Toronto team? Are you going based on geography or what?
I don't typically like. It's weird because normally if I'm trying to choose a team that I have no, like for NFL or Premier League, when I was choosing a team, I want it to be a storied franchise. I want there to be a lot of history, like because I love that kind of stuff, right? So Manchester United and Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
like, you don't get much more historic than those two franchises in those two leagues. So this is kind of weird for me that it's a completely blank slate. I'm probably going to naturally lean towards Toronto, but like even just with these three, like with the foundational players, every team's going to have a ton of skill on it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it's cool that each of these teams has a good slate to start with. Like everybody's got, like, it's a fair start, I guess I should say, or everybody has star power and, you know, nobody's starting at the bottom. Like it's going to be good all around. Like you're not going to go wrong picking any team, whether it's the one that lives closest to you or not lives, but plays closest to where you live, or, you know, you just want to cheer for some players you like. So I don't know. I'm going for Ottawa though, because it's fun. And Ottawa doesn't have that many teams that are worth cheering for.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I think if it's in your city and it's a team you can go and support as often as you can, then granted, like it is a unique experience to be able to pick a team with no history, whatever. You get such a clean slate on it. But yeah, I'm going to go with the hometown team.
And I'm glad that everybody has a home arena. Like I know in order to grow the game, they had to do these traveling tournaments, the Gillette, whoever was getting behind it. But the fact that people can feel like it's really their hometown team instead of just slapping the name on it, but they never play in your city. Like it really feels like this is something that, you know, Ottawa and Toronto and Montreal can really claim as like, you know, this is our women's team now that we have in a league that is set up in a similar way to the NHL. So
yeah, I do really like the fact that they did go with 6, and like realistically, they're all markets that should have no issue succeeding whatsoever.
100%.
Like Minnesota's the most Canadian place outside of Canada.
Yeah,
like,
it's farther north than Toronto is, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to succeed. That's not going to be an issue. Boston, the Boston Pride were a very good team there for a long time for women's hockey. We know Toronto's hockey crazy. Montreal's hockey crazy, especially you have someone like Marie-Philippe leading the team to start.
Yeah.
New York, even just the population there, they can support a gazillion teams. And then the real question will be to see, and I'm not trying to put a dig because you said you're going to cheer for them, but the real question will be to see how Ottawa actually does.
Oh, no, for sure.
But
one thing I just
maybe
want
if they
to
can
show...
come up with a half-decent name instead of like the Red Blacks or some shit like that.
The Fury, Champion, every team we have sucks. Just for reference, if anybody hasn't looked at a map in a while, this is where St. Paul, Minneapolis is. It is so much farther north than like where the majority of our listeners live. Like, it's just south of Ottawa, but it is farther north than most of southern Ontario. That's wild. Same with Green Bay. There you go. Little geo lesson. Now I'm national bean graph.
Did you just pull a map up on the screen there, Roscoe?
Yeah, I did. It's not the first time, and won't be the last time. I like maps. Okay.
I'm waiting for this to be like one of those Excel presentations where it does a little like twist and turns into a star. And
can we get editor that I don't have? Can we put one of those in here? Okay. So next thing I wanted to talk about, another fun thing, Big City Greens, which came onto my radar last year as the show that did the NHL crossover, where I think it was Washington and Rangers played a game that was completely animated, overlaid with Big City Greens stuff. I don't know. I'd never heard of the show before. It's a kid show on Disney now. They released their list of guest stars for their upcoming season, and there was one of them that caught the eye of Twitter /X, and nobody seemed to care about anybody else on the list. Brad Marchand, among a list of celebrities that are known for acting, Brad Marchand will be making his appearance on this season. So,
that nose is so easy to animate.
Do you think he'll be playing himself?
Well, he is somewhat of an actor himself, so he'll do just fine.
I think he's the perfect person to be like, I don't know if I don't know if we can really call him the first, because isn't Sean Avery in like every Christopher Nolan movie or something of the last couple?
I think that is a thing, actually.
Yeah, he's in Oppenheimer, apparently.
Yeah, and he was in Tenet, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in one recently that I watched. What the hell was it?
Oh, and you know what? I know it's not an acting thing, but PK Subban was in Jackass Forever. He was so good.
True. Yeah, he was.
They were doing a cup test, and they had PK taking slap shots at the guy's cup to see if he could take it.
He was in. He made an appearance in Last One Laughing Canada as well.
Yeah, I mean, PK is one of those people that's made his way into the screen world for sure. But this podcast too is really popular.
It was weird seeing his bare ass.
So I guess.
Wait, whose bare ass did we see? I missed this. What's going on?
PK Subban.
Sorry, I saw Suthy turn in his chair for a second, so I thought maybe I missed something.
No.
Okay, so what I want to know is, with Brad Marchand making his acting debut, who would you like to see from the Leafs make theirs, whether it's animated or live action? Who do you think has the best shot at getting the call next?
Just for the sheer fact of secondhand embarrassment, Morgan Riley.
What do you think Riley would be doing?
I have no idea, but that Pizzaville commercial he did, I feel so embarrassed for him.
Yeah, we're not considering any of their commercials as acting, so no. Ryan O'Reilly's thing doesn't count. You know, none of these commercials they do count.
Who's
Fuck him. He's not going to be on TV. He wants to go and live in obscurity.
I love that commercial, Darty. You have no idea.
You got to think Marner's got to be up there, right? Or maybe Willie.
I think Marner would be good, but I don't know what he would play other than... Oh, you know what? He'd be good in like one of those reality... I know he's married now, but one of those like reality dating shows. Like he looks like one of those guys that would like roll up on the beach in a little like short pink bathing suit and just like, hey, how's it going, everybody? Like, I'm Mitch. Like,
he could be on The Bachelor for years.
It's not acting, but like I don't know. I could just see him being on one of those where he's like the guy that's just like the clown of the bunch.
See, I don't know. I think Willie would be good at that too. You see the picture of him and his brother on the beach from earlier?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just dresses great all the time and travels everywhere with his brother.
Okay, Willie. I know this sounds okay. This isn't because he's Swedish. It's because of the hair, but also because he's Swedish. But him in like a Viking show as like a guest star would be sick. Like, I mean, the one who really should do it is Eric Carlson because he looks like like fucking mustache and everything.
Victor Hedman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Hedman for sure. But for the Leafs, I would say John Tavares would be funny as like a receptionist somewhere, like just so deadpan.
I could see him being like a fill-in, like a supervisor or a temp or something in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, something where he just gets to, like, they give him lines that are fucking hilarious and he just delivers them with a straight face because I know he won't break. Like, he'll just go out there and be like, all right, guys, so here's what we're doing today, and just lead everyone through like the stupidest hockey training camp ever. Yeah.
Michael Scott 2.0.
Yeah, he's the...
What's that? What's that show with the four guys who like prank each other?
Oh, Prank Patrol?
No, the
Practical Jokers.
I've been watching
Impractical Jokers. Yeah,
Impractical Jokers. I could see him being a replacement for one of the Impractical Jokers, like John Tavares. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Well, remember, Michael Scott was known for his skating abilities. If we like one day revealed that John Tavares was his skating coach, that would be so funny. It's like, yeah, you know, I went to an Islanders game one day and just bumped into John outside and I asked him if he wanted to skate. Here we are.
They should have a Willie versus guy. Paris Hilton. Blonde versus blonde.
Oh my god. Okay. So let me pull up my notes here again. So on to some more serious things. 2 extensions happened. The first one being Austin Matthews. Oh, excuse-moi. That was the ghost of Jimmy Buffett coming back. So
I think that was the ghost of General Tao.
Austin Matthews signs 4 years, $53 million. That's 13.25 per year, followed by Sheldon Keefe signing for 2 more years at who knows and who cares how much, because there's no cap there. What do we think of this Matthews contract, Darty? Since you've been cast away in your run here, what do you think of the Matthews extension?
Okay, well, first of all, I missed out on what I wanted to say because we were referring to Brad Marchand and his I guess his TV debut. And what I wanted to say, which I can no longer eloquently put, was I guess he's got to be prepping for his role in the live-action Ratatouille, right? But
where he plays Remy. Remy's the mouse, right? Not the guy. I've been told I look like the other dude, the dude from
Linguini. You definitely that is 100%. You do look like Linguini, but. So Austin Matthews, what was that? 13.25, right? If I'm not mistaken. Fellas, Austin Matthews, his contract, right? 13.25 at 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong.
13.25.
Yes.
Honestly, you know, what is it? Not good, not great, but not terrible. I can't complain about that. Like, at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. It could have been much worse, and we get to keep Poppy. So, for that, I'd like to put out a congratulatory yay.
Oh, you know what? I haven't used that one in a while. Where's that? Yay. Suthy, 4 times 13.25. What was your feelings on this?
I feel good about it. I'm just happy they got it done before the season started. Honestly, I thought maybe he was actually going to try and sign for 3 years and just keep maximizing his money after that. So the 4th year was nice to see. It's like player empowerment time right now. He's strikes me as like the LeBron James of the league, right? This is what LeBron's been doing for years and years on his contracts in the NBA. And in the term, whatever, obviously we want more years, but the money is pretty great, especially with the cap going up throughout the length of this contract. I think the last 2 years will be really good. So overall, pretty happy.
Look, it's okay to be okay with him staying here and not caring about the money. Like, we can just be happy for him making as much money as he wants, like, as long as he stays here. I don't care if it's 4 years because he wants to then maximize on the next one. As long as it's not to a point where it's like, and I mean, with the cap going up, it shouldn't. But as long as it's not to a point where it's impacting what they can bring in elsewhere on the team or signing somebody else, which maybe it is right now, but who knows? Who cares?
I mean,
He's
he
still
could
a
have got
Leaf.
more
That's
still.
exactly
If he asks
right.
for the max, like he gets max. What are you going to do?
Biehn, take it.
Like, first off, I want to start. I think we touched on this a little bit with our attempted episode when I was in Iqaluit. With regards to the 4 years, I'd be happy we still have him. I didn't honestly think he was going anywhere, but you never know. It could have happened. Like, since the start of last year to now, like, everything's completely changed. Matthews doesn't know what the future holds. He hasn't seen what Tree wants to do with the team. So even just looking at it that way, I don't really blame him for not committing 8 years. Yes, it would have been awesome to have him commit for that long. He's still in the prime of his career. We still get the majority of his prime. Like, relax. Plus, as you guys said, 13.25, that's not max. That's a smaller cap percentage than when Ovechkin signed his big deal coming out of entry level.
Interesting. I didn't know that little tidbit.
Like, when Ovechkin signed his deal coming out of entry level, it was for 9.538 a year for 13 years.
Jesus.
And it was worth just shy of 19% of the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Matthews is only at 13.9%.
I feel like there's one thing that no one's... Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, so like it's still less. The number itself isn't really what you have to look at. It's the percentage of the cap. So that's still not that bad. And if you averaged out his last contract, the 11.64, that was what, 5 years? If you take those 5 years plus these 4 that are coming up, and you could have told someone, yep, when Matthews' entry-level contract is up, we're going to sign him for 9 years at an average of, what would the average be, 12.2? Everyone would have fucking jumped all over that.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, and I mean, with what we're hearing with, Darlene expected to sign 8 times 10.5, and, Sanderson just signed 8 times 8.5. I mean, if a, pretty good to star player goes for anywhere from 9 to 10 million, and then from there up, 10 to 12, we're saying, or 10 to 14, I guess now is superstar. It's fine. I don't care. It's not my money.
So just before Suthy gets into this, I want to, the percentage of the cap, like I was talking about, Matthews is considered to be probably the best goal scorer in the game right now, which is what Obi was when he signed that one. If you want further comparison, McDavid is still in the 8-year deal he signed coming out of entry at 12.5. So this is coming into his 3rd year on that deal, and he's still at 15% of the cap.
How many more years does McDavid have? 3?
He's a free agent the summer of 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no way that you're getting him for less than 13.25.
Never.
So, exactly, right? It looks good now. It looks good when the cap goes up. I'm fine with it. Could have been higher. He's the best. He's still here. He's not in Arizona. He's not in LA. He's not in New York. I don't see anything wrong with this. It is, however, weird that we keep hearing other players getting signed before Willie, but,
Yeah. And, not a lot of people want to talk about this, but it's actually not too bad for the team itself, maybe, because Matthews has a chronic wrist problem. This has been happening in every single year. And obviously, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to explode, career-ending, God forbid. But it is something to keep an eye on. So that's also not a bad little wrinkle for the Leafs.
Look, I get that, 8 years is great if they're a star. I don't like 8-year deals. I'm totally with you. If you can keep signing somebody 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is, and they keep getting a little more money out of it, it gives you a little more freedom too. Like that's what you're paying for, is that option to be like, all right, so this has been fun, but you just got hurt 3 times in a row and you are not the person you were 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So goodbye.
Everybody gets to reevaluate. And yeah, like you said, not
Yeah.
be locked in those extra 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not saying, Matthews is going to fall off when he's 32, but like, you never know what happens, and it's nice to have some freedom in those times with money, because you never know what else is going to come up. What I do find
that,
go for it.
I think he only needs to average like 20 goals a year throughout the rest of that contract, and he'd be the all-time Leafs goal scorer.
Unreal.
That's insane.
I do find the Jake Sanderson contract a little strange. I know he's a high draft pick and everything, and they got the term at a pretty good dollar value if all shakes out the way it's supposed to. But after one season to give 8 times 8.5 is really risky. And it seems that this is Ottawa's.
Yeah, 77 games.
Yeah, it's one season minus a couple flus. So it seems like Ottawa's move lately has been to hand out term in order to keep people there. Like, I know it's not a totally undesirable place to play, but it's been a changing of the guard. There's a new owner. They're potentially getting a new arena. They're shifting the whole team around. There's young guys coming up to take over. It seems like in order to get other players to stay there, they've had to throw huge term at them, and even their own guys. So I hope that this works out for Ottawa and this becomes a bit of a run for them for a few years, because I'd like to see them back in the conversation, but man, it's a risky move.
It definitely is. Like, realistically, if he turns out to what he projects to, this is going to be a good deal. But for after the 77 games to have him making, like, no offense to Mo, but he's making that much more than Morgan Riley.
More than Shabbat,
right?
too.
Like, that's insane. Yeah, he's like $50,000 more than Shabbat.
It's crazy. And just to circle back to what Suthy brought up last time we were on, I know it seems like an eternity ago because it was. Austin Matthews' deal of $13.5 million makes him the highest paid NHLer. It also makes him the 113th highest paid NBA player, 103rd highest paid MLB player, and 88th highest paid NFL player. Oh my God. Like, fix your shit. I was down in New York, like I was talking about, and when you turn on the cable in the hotel, it's Spectrum TV, which I hadn't heard of before, but I guess it's a very big provider down there. It must have been out of a merger or something, because I've never heard of it before.
Spectrum's been around for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know it. So anyway, I'm flipping through channels, and every now and then there'd be a channel that just says, due to an ongoing dispute with Disney, this channel has been blocked. So I guess they don't want to pay as much as Disney wants them to, because Spectrum wants to keep the prices down. And here we are, where ESPN is not on Spectrum, which is one of the biggest cable providers in the States. So, Batman, I know it's not exactly your thing, but this is your game that you're supposed to be growing, and the TV deals have been fucked. Like, every network has fallen apart, and they've just been fumbling these American TV rights around. And I don't know how many subscribers does Spectrum.
I'm surprised like you don't hear more from the owners about this. Like, they seem to back Bettman so much, but he's always been fumbling these TV deals. And how do you grow your game, like especially financially? It's with TV deals. That's why
Charter
NBA contracts exploded.
Yeah, you're right. No, sorry. With 32 million customers in 41 states, the second largest cable operator in the U.S., just behind Comcast. So it's a lot of people not able to watch their home teams if it's not on another network. That shit's dumb. You got to get your revenues up. It's you can look up on Wikipedia. There's a chart of like revenue per game and per season for all the major sports, and man, the NHL's got to do something about this. It's getting out of hand. They an ad on a jersey or on a helmet is not going to fix this. Like, it needs to get to more people, and there are so many blockades for no reason. Like, it shouldn't be this hard to watch hockey. I don't get it. Like, in a bit of a bubble where the Leafs are owned by the two biggest telecom companies in Canada, so watching them isn't exactly difficult, but it even still is. Like, I'm in Ottawa and I get games blacked out all the time. So it's stupid that everywhere you live, it's never easy to watch every game unless you pay a couple $100. And I don't know.
You brought up ads on jerseys though, and let me tell you though, I can't wait for when they let like a Viagra ad on a jersey or like an X-Lax ad, something stupid like that. You're like that's when you know Gary's really broke.
Yeah, Manscaped and BetterHelp are like the fucking jersey sponsors next. Okay, another little
Pepto-Bismol, fucking Rub A535.
So the other one who got extended is Sheldon Keefe for another 2 years. Again, they can fire him. I don't care. What do you guys think of this? I think it's strange that it happened before the season started, and I think it's intriguing that it happens right after Matthews gets signed, like as though it was a bit of a stipulation, like I want to keep playing for Keefe. But I don't know what you guys think.
The 2 years it's nothing, right? If you fire him and you have to pay him out, that's not a big deal. But yeah. I think having him locked up is one less distraction going into the season. And maybe that's kind of what Brad was looking for in his first year here. That's the only thing I can really think of.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, trying to get one more distraction out of the way. And like you said, Roscoe, with not that Matthew should have the final say, but when you have a franchise-altering player like that, you have to take their opinion into consideration.
Oh, of course. 100%. I mean, it's not a secret that like Crosby gets asked about anything the Penguins do, and Ovechkin gets asked about whatever the Caps do, and McDavid gets asked about whatever the Oilers do. Exactly. Like, it's not uncommon for them to be, hey, do you hate your coach? No, I want to keep playing for him. Great, we're going to sign him.
Like, don't you think that kind of stuff should have happened? Maybe it did, but should have happened with the Flames. Like, is Sutter the reason Tkachuk wanted to get the hell out of Dodge?
That fell apart in such a weird way. Like, it was piece by piece, and then it was all at once. Like, there's still a couple stragglers, and everybody's been wondering if they're ending up on the Leafs, but there's still a few guys kicking around there. But yeah, it seems weird that they booted him and traded everybody. I have a question for y'all. What do you think is the most common first name in the NHL? Darty, you want to take a stab at it?
Thomas. I don't know. I thought we were starting with last names. All right, I got the scoop earlier when everybody was off. So saying first names, I'm like, oh fuck. Oh, sorry, sorry, Luke, man.
Thomas is fading in popularity since 2010. It was at one point there were 20 of them. Currently there are 12, I want to say, but it is not the most popular. Anybody else want to take a stab?
Michael's got to be up there.
Yeah, it's got to be like one of the ones from our generation, like Michael or Matthew.
Here's the thing. So Michael was the correct answer until 2017. And Michael has dropped off like the economy.
Well, sorry for being 6 years too late for this fucking poll.
At one point in, 2015, there were 40 guys named Michael in the NHL.
Wow.
But they all retired basically at the same time.
I missed like 7 episodes, and now I'm like 6 years, 7 years behind in the league, apparently.
Anybody else stab at it?
John?
All right, so John, Johnny, John, they're at, what's that, about 18 of them? They are not the first place one, so just, pardon me. The leader has, what's this, 34?
Oh, God.
Wow.
And there is somebody right behind them.
Ryan?
So Ryan, we got 23 of them. Not the first place. It's fifth, fourth, fifth. 5th.
Tyler.
And just sorry, these statistics are from 2021. Nobody has updated it since.
Are
Alex,
you using
final
the
guess.
like?
Alex, actually, that's a great guess.
There it is. Alex, winner. Alexander. Yeah, that's the number one name in the NHL. Followed right behind by, what is this one? Jacob, which in 2010, which is when this counter starts, there were 6 of, and now there are 33. It has shot up from last place to second. It's one of those,
Go
millennial names.
How much do we want to bet Austin and Connor will start rising in the next 15 years?
Oh, Connor is becoming like the most common name. It's gonna shoot up real quick. Last thing here before we go to questions: Classy and Trashy Part 2. So I want to talk about at-home viewing of the game and some things that are okay and not okay to do, or maybe not okay, but just a little trashy. So, yelling at the TV. What do you guys think about yelling at the TV during the game? Do you do it? Do you not? Do you try not to? Does it happen? What do you think of it?
It just happens. There's nothing you can do about it.
Have you seen the officiating in this league?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that it's just something that is involuntary. We know that they can't hear us. To everybody saying they can't hear you when you yell shoot. I know.
I mean, maybe if you're yelling like every couple minutes, then you need to reel it in a little bit, but it's going to slip out once in a while.
What about jerseys for at-home game viewing? Any superstitions for what you wear when you watch the game, or do you take one out for watching it at home?
Yep, always.
I can typically get a little too superstitious. But I think that stems from me being a goalie as well. Like when we talked about, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, pre-game rituals when I'm playing out, it's very simple. When I'm in net, there's like a strict timeline and order that everything has to be done in.
If it's a must-win, I'll also give my jersey to my girlfriend. And that so far has been working quite well. But it's only for the rarest of occasions.
Ooh, I like that. Having a safe, what do you call it? It's like a superstition, but you keep it for special occasions. I don't know.
Yes.
There's got to be a name for that. Help me out. What else is there for at home? What's a snack you have when you're watching the game? You get chips, you do popcorn, you do pretzels, you a
Typically
microwave chips. Yeah.
Yeah, I think chips.
Chips is an easy one at home. That's something that you don't do when you're at the game live. Like, chips is never something that I would get while I'm at the arena. But when I'm at home, I'm like, I just want a fucking bag of chips. Also, because, like, can you imagine what they'd charge for a full-size bag of chips in an arena?
It'd be like $12.
And I'm glad you said it that way as well. Like, I'm not talking about a handful or a small bowl. Like, I'm talking about a full family-size bag.
Which, like, come on, is it, like, really a half-full bag of chips when you get into those sizes?
You dump that in a serving bowl, and it's not seen tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a... in my head, there's these white plastic bowls that my parents always had chips or popcorn or pretzels or something in them. Do you have, like, a go-to bowl that you always put that shit in?
Well, I think we just...
actually.
Well, we just established that when it comes to chips, you don't really need bowls.
I'm a bowl guy, I think.
Yeah? Nah. Right from the bag.
There's something about the greasy knuckles or like chippy, like flavored knuckles that you get from going in the bag. That's just not always what you want. Also, if people go to sleep, if like, you know, my girlfriend works in the morning, I don't want to be like, those Miss Vicky's bags, which I love Miss Vicky's. Why is it that all of the kettle cooked chips have the crumpliest bags?
Oh, they're so loud.
So loud.
I missed this, but Greasy Knuckles is the name of your sex tape, Roscoe.
Not to mention, I like having the option of picking which chip I want to.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a
for
thing.
sure. Because there's sometimes where you're like, I want a little crunch right now because that last one wasn't, and then sometimes you're like, no, I need like a bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a munch, sometimes it's a hunger chip. You know, there's different levels. There's context.
Beehner's leaving too much up to chance with the bag.
Nah, I just need to get it done. And then you get to the last little bit. You get to the last little bit in the bag, and you crunch it all up and just devour it.
That's a good.
Do you ever mix two kinds?
Occasionally, no. I don't know if you've ever tried the hell of a good French onion dip.
So good.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing, and it grosses my wife out because I will dip any flavor of chip in there, not just plain. Like sweet chili heat Doritos dipped into that is a gold mine.
That's weird. Not gonna lie.
No, it's not.
You got to try it.
Okay, if both of you have tried it, I'm not saying that I trust either one of you over the other one, but if both of you say it, then there's got to be something.
Even all dressed is really good with it too.
Dressed all overs.
Yes.
Something I didn't realize was Canadian.
Yeah.
Dressed all over chips.
That and hickory sticks.
Yeah, hickory sticks in America are just like salad toppers. Like you get them in the grocery store or the salad section, and it's like a thing you put on top of salad. And then here they're like, wait, what do you mean you can get a whole bag of those and eat them? That's insane.
And I don't know if they still are, but apparently Kinder Eggs used to be illegal in the States.
I think they still are, because I remember there's been some cases of people getting busted trying to import a bunch of them.
Which is ridiculous.
You can only get them in like grocery stores and stuff. Well, it's because the way that lawsuits work down there is it's just like, it's not worth it, because if every dumb parent with their dumb kid is going to get hurt with it and they're going to start suing you, it's like, okay, let's just not sell them here anymore. We'll sell them to people that, you know, don't leave their kids unattended with a plastic thing. Anyway, we're not going to get into that.
No.
But come to Sunoco today and get a free gun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was a... Anyway, no, never mind. I'm not going to get into it. But some interesting things driving through upstate New York over the last month.
I'd imagine.
Fucking Dollar General, man. It's like you don't see a grocery store, but you see a Dollar General every hour. It's insane. I think I talked about this, but I don't know if I told all of you guys, but the Akwesasne Reserve, that's like Quebec, Ontario, New York area, on the New York side of it, by the casino, there's like gotta be 100 pot shops. There's one that's literally called Another Damn Pot Shop because it's such a joke that there's so many of them. Questions, and then we got to get out of here. I really have to pee too. Fun guy at Southpaw Cal. Will Keefe ever send this line out in a game? Bertuzzi, Domi, Reeves. I mean, probably not, but maybe on a a penalty kill, or like
maybe like to try and wake the team up. They're just hoping for a really physical shift just to try and get something going in the game. But other than that, maybe
game against the Jets that goes south, like
yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, if people start beating up on Matthews and Marner, and you're just like, you know what? Fine. You want to start shoving people around? It's kind of a fun idea. Like the fact that he can is hilarious. It just, if you want to it's the fuck around and find out line. Like,
exactly.
If you see him send that out, it's like, oh shit. He's like, it's to send a message, and there's no other reason. You'd put it out for one shift, or I don't know.
And if they go out there, like they know their mandate's not to score a goal, it's just fuck shit up.
Yeah, but on that, I do love that both Bertuzzi and Domi have expressed interest in staying here long term, and it's just a matter of figuring it out next off season. So, really excited that some people have the passion. I mean, obviously Domi wants to be here, but Bertuzzi is an interesting one, especially because he was so anti-Canadian with the vaccine mandate and everything. And wasn't it Bertuzzi that was the holdout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that he's now. I mean, I know that's not like a reason to write off a country, but somebody that's so quick to be like, nope, not doing that is like, yeah, fuck it, let's go Toronto. I'm down to stay here long term. It's like, okay, let's go. I'll take a shithead. We need another Michael Bunting. Another question, Cody Donaldson at W_Donaldson. Another very important question that needs to be answered tonight. Darty, I'll let you take this one first. What kind of pizza would the core four be individually and together, crust type, etc.? So if you took the core four and turned them into a pizza, what would that pizza be?
I feel like they're like a deluxe Hawaiian with cheesy bread. You know, the cheesy crust.
And why do you say that?
You know, sometimes it's awfully confusing, surprisingly delicious. Results may vary. And at the same time, you know, unfortunately, I feel like cheesy crust is pretty overrated sometimes. Like, you think that it's going to be amazing, you buy it every single time, and then you realize there's a reason why crust is just crust, because it's boring. All right, and I eat crust. I'm a crust eater. Okay, like, I'll eat your crust. I'll eat crust off of people's plates. If they're not going to eat it, I'll eat it. I love crust. I know some people, they like to get dips and stuff. I'll have it dry. I don't care. You know, I'm a weird guy. Like, I chew ice too. You know, I'm one of those people. But that's why I say they're cheesy crust, because I say, I love a good crust. But that's why I say they're cheesy crust. You know, like, you think they're going to be all that in the bag of potato chips, and sometimes it's just like, you know what, it's still just crust. So that's my take there.
That's kind of interesting because, I mean, when you look at it from afar, it's like, that's a lot of things that individually are really good. I hope this works well all together. And depending on the bite you get, you're like, there's a lot of good things here. But then if you take too big of a bite and you put it up against other things, it's like, okay, there's just too much going on here. I can't with this.
One bite, everyone knows the rules, right?
And nobody knows who the like lead flavor is. It's like a bunch of very strong competing flavors. Yeah. And I like it. It makes sense. Everybody's got a little hidden talent. And the hidden talents and the cheesy crust, it's good. Okay, next up, Suthy, what do you think?
I don't think I could follow that up, actually. He nailed it pretty good.
I know, honestly. That's kind of the best answer. Anything you want to add, Justin?
Here's a way to follow it up, not to skip Biehn, but...
I'll see you on the weekend or some shit.
All right, sorry. Now I'm free. Darty's free. See you later, boy. So so I wasn't lying. I was on a walk with my buddy. Right? That's why I was so AFK. But
see you, buddy.
That's Roscoe, all right. All right, Keswick's finest. So we are. We're talking about pizza, right? And did anybody else? Because we always keep up to date with the goings on of social media. Anybody else following the whole Dave Portnoy situation with that whole pizza thing? Like, apparently he got one of his pizza reviews went a little awry.
Man, I can't keep... Every time I go on Instagram, there's another Dave Portnoy incident that I'm supposed to care about. Like, is he a good person or isn't he? I can't decide. I don't watch these things. It's just always like, oh, he yelled at somebody and almost fired them live on the podcast. Like, what did he do this time with the pizza?
Are you asking me? I actually don't 100% know. That's why I figured you guys were more into the social media scene. I just know some bullshit keeps popping up on my feed about him, and I'm like, honestly, this guy, just as you hit the nail on the head. Like, this guy's like, he's like the apprentice. He's like the Apprentice era Donald Trump of fucking cheap sportscasting.
The pizza shop that took on Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports. This is from Bon Appetit. Okay, go
I think he
go on.
stopped him from going in for a review or something.
Rates at a 6.4 to 10. It's at Dragon Pizza, a relatively low score. Shows Red approaching Portnoy outside the shop. Dave, enjoy your pizza as any customer, he says, but I don't appreciate what you do judging a business with one bite. Let me be clear. Move on. Don't stand in front of my business. Let me be clear. Fuck you, Portnoy replies. Nice. Fuck you and the stool you came in on, Dave douchebag. Nice. So, okay. So this guy just didn't love that Portnoy is reviewing their restaurant off of taking a bite of the pizza, which I get. It's not, Gordon Ramsay orders the menu for a reason. But I got into a little altercation up front, so I mean, it's not good. I don't think it's a good move if you own a business to approach whether you agree with it or not. I mean, I don't know. This is good business for them. Any news is good news, I guess. It's good PR. I didn't know about Dragon Pizza 10 minutes ago, so now I do. But I think it's just a bad idea to try to tell somebody that's from some internet thing that's reviewing your shit to fuck off, and create a scene. I don't know. You're always better off to try to form a partnership or, be in on the video or however you can feed off of it in a positive way and get people to, it's like, hey, I don't know, make a joke out of it if you don't like the review, but I don't know. It's drama. It's drama.
So, with the pizza question, first, core four, are we talking JT, Marner, Matthews, and Nylander? Or are we having Riley in there somewhere?
However you want to do it.
So, if we're doing JT, Marner, Matthews, and Nylander, I kind of went a little bit of the opposite direction of what each one would be pizza-wise. And in honor of our general manager, why don't we go with pizzas from Boston Pizza?
Oh, hell yeah. That Deluxe Hawaiian one is so good.
The Royal Hawaiian?
The Royal Hawaiian?
Yeah,
with
that's
the
my
sesame
go-to.
seeds.
So for starters, we'd have JT, our captain, pepperoni, all the way.
Oh, 100%.
Just
or
keep
maybe
it simple.
just cheese even.
You know what?
Depends if
You
feeling
got to give him
spicy,
like
you might throw some
margarita.
Pepperoni on there.
You got to give Tavares margarita because it's like it's plain, but it's plain done well.
Fair
You know,
enough.
it's the highest end of basic. He is a margarita pizza.
I think for Willie, I think you would have to go with something like the tropical chicken. Like an Alfredo sauce. You got the bacon, you got the cheese, little spicy chicken breast on there. Like that's like a Willie.
Spicy
Tropical chicken
pierogi.
is a pizza? Sounds like a dance
Yeah.
move.
I thought Willie might be a Hawaiian, but tropical pizza works just as good.
Yeah, see, Suthy, I'm with you. Willie feels like a Hawaiian guy just because it's like,
The tropical chicken has pineapple on it as well.
oh, okay.
True.
Then yeah, it's Willie.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
For Marner, I would think one of their new pizzas, the carbonara.
Yep.
So that's kind of like a Marner thing. And then with Matthews, I'm kind of torn between probably the two most famous Boston Pizza pizzas. But I think
The
you would
Meteor?
have to go. I was thinking the Meteor or the spicy pierogi.
Spicy pierogi feels like you'd have to be Eastern European.
It's cactus
It's just-
cut potatoes, pierogi, like it.
Oh, cactus cut? He's from the desert. Come on.
Right, but then you have the Meteor. It's literally got everything, and he has everything with regards to being one of the best players in the league.
I think it's
Yeah, I
it's
feel
gotta
like-
be Meteor.
It's Meteor. If
Yeah.
he was European, I would say spicy pierogi, but yeah, he's the Meteor. I like that.
Great question.
Nice one. So we answered it in both ways. So thank you for that
And-
one.
And
I
then
got a
Morgan
question for you,
Riley
Johnny.
is Morgan Riley is whatever Tessa wants.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
That's good. That's I like that. That's funny.
Well done.
That's what we need to hear. That's what the listeners want. That's what the folks at home.
with the cauliflower crust.
Oh. Now, let's be real. John's getting the cauliflower crust.
Yeah.
Darty, you
Wait,
got a
so here-
question?
Yeah, so that's a question for everybody too. Just another one that because I was thinking about this while we're talking about food and hockey players and who's the, like again like I'm probably missing out on something here. Maybe someone already has one, but who's going to be the first Leafs player to get their own like meal? You know what I mean? Like you know how they had like the Travis Scott burger? Like is there going to be like an Austin Matthews like burger or something? Like who would be the first one on the team to get their own like actual like meal like from like say Osmos or Timmy's or something? You know like a little Tim
Marner
Beams
had
going on,
one.
like,
Did he? Where?
I think he had a burger with some burger joint.
He'd be my guess.
Marner
There are a lot of
partners with
commercials.
Skip the Dishes to launch the Mitchell Burger.
Oh, nice.
you
I
go.
remember the Raptors had a thing with Starbucks in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
So
well, that's
yeah.
why like the Raptors that was one of my inspiration too. Is what's his name on the Raptors is doing the thing with Subway, right? Bowlway or whatever, makes his own bowls.
Scotty Barnes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Scotty Barnes, yeah, kid sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's wicked.
To get their own meal. I mean, It would probably be. I mean, it's one of the star guys, but I'm thinking of like what.
Does it have to be? I feel like maybe a guy like Ryan Reeves would get like a spicy something named after him, like a
Oh
challenge.
yeah, that's for sure. That's a good one.
I mean, he is here for a few years. It's true.
Yeah.
Or like someone like Domi, like I'm not super familiar with restaurants in Toronto, but maybe a restaurant that's been around forever. They make some sort of like quote unquote hometown meal and call it the Max Domi or something.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of ways you can play on like the double domi and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could have like the. Oh, that's a good idea for a burger. You could have like the domi and the double domi. And, like,
Pitch it.
McDonald's and the GTA should temporarily name Happy Meals Smile Meals for Samsonite.
oh, I thought you were going. I thought you were going to make a McDomi joke.
Oh.
But no, I think there's a lot of opportunity for these guys to cash in. All these new guys in town. There's tons. I mean, the fact that Osmos. I went home to Coburg and there's an Osmos there now. The place is popping up everywhere. So, you know.
I've still not tried one. I finally tried Chick-fil-A today for the first time.
Not open on Sundays. Says on every sign.
No.
The thing with Osmos is like, if you're not from Ottawa, I'm sure it's good. But like, when you have it here, it's like, come on, I've had better shawarma than this. What are we doing?
This is the shawarma capital of Canada, and it is excellent. You don't have time to mess around with Osmos.
I think we have a whole episode that deals with that, right? Like we did like a discussion about the subtle intricacies of what makes a good shawarma.
Well, that's why like there's only one. What's that poutine place? Smokes. There's only like one of those here in Ottawa. Like it's the poutines from Ottawa and Quebec. It's like, well, like yeah, that's why everybody makes it, and there's not like a poutine place.
That's so funny because I was actually just thinking about that. I was looking for a solid poutine where I live, and I was like, you know what? Like, I haven't been to Smokes in so long, and of course, since COVID, it's like disappeared.
Really?
And it kind of went without a trace. Like there used to be like over 250 restaurants. I think like they had Smokes in the U.S. They had Smokes in L.A. And now there's they at least have the amount of restaurants they have. Because I had to go I didn't go, but I know like for me to get like the closest Smokes to me was like either in downtown Toronto or in Barrie.
Cool.
And they used to have them everywhere.
I had a wicked poutine when I was heading up to Nunavut when my flight was delayed in Toronto. I ate at one of the restaurants that was in there, a Montreal smoked meat poutine.
Oh, nice.
It was delicious. Had a bunch of Montreal smoked meat shaved up in it and then some Dijon mustard on it. It was awesome.
Oh.
Shout out to Poutineville, which the people that work there used to know me by name. I used to go to this place called Poutineville that I think it still exists. It's in Montreal, but there was one in Toronto by like Bathurst and Bloor area. It was by the Lab, if anybody knows where that is, which also does no longer exist. And I used to, after a night out of partying, particularly it was near the Brunswick House, I'm pretty sure, where all the fights used to happen, which again doesn't exist anymore. Thanks COVID and Doug Ford and the economy, but thanks capitalism. But yeah, it was the best. Honestly, it was like the best poutine I ever had. Like, and I'm pretty sure they still have like that chain or whatever in Montreal. But yeah, Poutineville's amazing. Shout out to Poutineville.
So just to bring it back, you made a good point there, Darty. Smokes has downsized in the last couple of years. So they're out of Ajax. They were only founded in 2008. They opened their first location in Toronto then. It says in 2016, they had 76 restaurants in Canada and 5 in the US. They planned to expand the company internationally and open 1,300 restaurants around the world by 2020. They had already started this expansion, having sold franchises to the States, like Darty said. They had, by 2017, 150 locations across Canada and the States. They had one in Berkeley, California that closed. 4 other USA locations have also closed. According to their website, as of August 2022, there are 49 locations. So that's 100 down from 2017. That's 2/3 of their restaurants have closed.
I wasn't making up the severity of this situation. All right, I do my research when it comes to poutine and hockey. Okay, all right. I back this shit up with facts.
That's what you come here for, It's Leafs
100%.
and random tidbits of information, and you will always get that here. I promise you.
Speaking
So,
of poutine, I
yes.
had one at the Paris Fair this weekend, actually. We went to a local fair to celebrate the end of summer, and I had a Dorito poutine.
That sounds good,
So
actually.
just your regular poutine, fries, gravy, and cheese curds with a whole bunch of crunched up nacho Doritos mixed in there.
That's a really good idea. We did
Simple,
that.
but really good.
We did mac and cheese at the cottage a couple weeks ago, and I crushed up a bunch of Doritos for on top of it, and it was really good.
We'll always do like
That-
a taco salad every now and then we'll crunch up nacho Doritos and sweet chili heat in there as well.
Nice. Attaboy.
That actually reminds me of, oh, by the way, so shout out to Sheridan College, Darty Burger, Sheridan College alum. And I made a promise anytime
Ew.
that I represented Sheridan College that I would always, as an actor, make sure that people know where I'm from. So got to do it the proper way. And yeah, when I went to school, they used to have this like in their cafeteria or whatever, they would have this like taco in a bag. Like I'm sure you guys have had it before, but it was like
Walking
a bag
taco.
of Doritos, walking taco. I know people
So
have
good.
different names for it, but that was
Do
amazing.
Fritos
Honestly,
too.
when it's like when you're up a little later and you're kind of had a couple too many wobbly pops, a little walking taco in a bag, crushed Doritos and
Bit of the
all
jazz
the mixing of a
cabbage.
taco. It does it. It's amazing. It's crazy what the little things that satiate the hunger.
Yeah, I had that at work actually for the first time. They made that for everybody. It was like you can do Fritos or Doritos if anybody hasn't had this before. You open the bag
Fritos are
sideways.
great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fritos are the corn flavor. Oh my god, they're so much cornier than Doritos are.
It's corn.
That's a thing. Don't give me that look, Justin.
It's
Don't give me that look. So you cut the bag open sideways and you can put like just chili in, or you can do like regular taco stuff like ground beef and sour cream and onions and cheese and whatever. And it's just like you eat it with a fork with a bunch of crushed up Doritos. It's so good.
A little bit of Italian dressing.
Pardonnez-moi.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
But
I'm sorry, what?
when we do our taco salads, we'll put it like ground beef, lettuce, spinach, peppers, crushed up Doritos, and then some Italian dressing.
Italian.
Why?
Not like sour cream, not ranch or.
There'll be a little sour cream in there as well, but
All right.
my wife likes to say that I have pregnant girl cravings, like all
She
the
might
time.
be right.
We've discussed this previously with one of my favorite breakfasts with toast with peanut butter and melted cheese.
Okay, so I know what Italian dressing tastes like, but like I can't discern what's in it in my mind, if that makes sense. So it's lemon juice and white vinegar, Dijon mustard, garlic, honey, parsley, oregano, thyme, olive oil, black pepper, salt. So besides the Dijon mustard, like the flavor wise, I guess it makes sense. It's just not something I'd ever think to put on a taco salad, but like, why don't you get like an avocado lime crema going, or like,
Ooh.
I don't know, you mix some sour cream with lime juice and you're set.
It honestly feels like cultural appropriation at this point.
I actually learned that's similar to how like Hot Pockets and Pizza Pops were created. It was some Italian guy made fucking Chinese food, frozen dinners, and they were like, why don't you put pizza in an egg roll? And he's like, Pizza Pops.
Genius.
Genius. Sell it to the world. Okay.
You gotta go with the McCain ones though, not the Pillsbury.
Oh, dude, right?
Y'all 100%.
Pillsbury's too doughy.
That's why we got to get the Patreon going so we can just talk about other things forever without worrying about wasting
By the way, are
people's
we
time.
ever doing the Vegemite?
I have mine. It's definitely
still
expired
have
at this
the same.
point. But well, we were going to do bets, right? Like Steph made a bet that she lost and ended up having to eat it. So I mean, do we want to just like find preseason games to bet on, or like some? Why don't we bet on like other sports? We'll find like some random other thing that's going on, and we'll pick whoever we think is going to win the next, like, I don't know, golf, tennis, or race, or something that we don't watch.
Done.
That could
And
work.
just to Luke, man, I don't even think it's not necessarily I don't even want to eat the Vegemite. It's more so that like we wanted to do it in like a special way, and then like we just never got around to doing it because like I'll eat anything. Like I'm the kind of guy like I like a good liverwurst sandwich, you know. So like Vegemite, I feel like would be a cakewalk for me. I don't know about you.
I love the random noises in behind Darty every time
So
he talks.
wild. You pick like KHL teams to follow. Who do you think is leading the KHL right now?
And scoring?
Yeah.
Probably someone who shouldn't be playing hockey, like Jake Virtanen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was this the Dirtbag Olympics?
Points. Oh, they've only played 3 games so far, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like points for the show, like points that we need to improve on.
No. I'm just seeing if there's anybody we recognize here. Doesn't seem like it, though.
Okay, let someone who actually knows players look at the list.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh, fuck you.
Do you know who?
Do you know who fucking?
It's not Mitchkov, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Do you know who Nikolai Goldobin is?
Nikolai Goldobin is a Leafs prospect.
Goldobin? He's 27.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, nice try.
Goldobin used to play in the league, did he not?
I
Maybe.
believe he did. Like, I recognize the name.
Yes, I've definitely heard the name. I've got to look up that prospect now. I'm thinking of it's Grow something.
Number 3 in points last season was Alexander Radulov.
Jeez,
yeah.
he's still playing.
Yeah.
Ship and
What
Ship's still playing over there
interstate
too.
are you hitchhiking down, Darty?
I'm just trying not to get robbed, stabbed, or anything else that would be unfortunate for me.
Are you walking down the 401? What's going on here?
I think this is Woodbine. All right, the second longest road in the world, apparently.
Nikolai Goldobin was selected in the first round of the 2014 draft by the San Jose Sharks.
125 games in the league between Vancouver and San Jose.
There you go. NHL totals 46 points in 125 games. No.
Look, guys, I could have been doing this show or listening to the Canadian True Crime podcast, all right? And honestly, like, I feel less scared with this being on the show.
All right.
You made the right choice.
So it's Thursday. We'll be back soon because season's heating up. We got more stuff to talk about, more games to play, and more trivia and stuff.
Coming up soon.
Exactly. We got to do a whole preseason breakdown. We got to do the East and the West, and lots of stuff coming up. We're getting back in the swing of it, I promise. So stay tuned, subscribe, follow us, and chill. Leaf season's coming, baby. Anybody want to sign off with anything? Keep on rocking.
I think for Darty's safety, we got to end this here.
Yeah, before he gets smoked on the side of the road. All right. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Ciao.
I have an outro.
Bonsoir.
God, how much I've missed this outro.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Leafs Late Night, your night of post-game podcast. Available after every game on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and more.
Now available on the side of the road.
And shout out to Mike Ross for signing another year with the Leafs.